Well, hello, 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 y'all. Greetings to you. This is Teacher Queen coming to you with WSBH LLC presents We the People. We are on lesson 8, y'all. This is Blinded View Part 2. And the reason that I decided to make sure that we did a continuation of lesson 7 was because of the information. I didn't want to just kind of rush through it to get within our time frame. We keep it simple, sweetheart. Nobody is rightfully stupid. But sometimes people can demonstrate that they have not put their thinking cap on. How about that? How about we go with that? Not here to shame or ridicule anyone. I do believe that everybody has the ability to learn. Um, of course, my background in early childhood education has given me that point of view and that perspective. I've had children from all kinds of different backgrounds in all things that they that would be a factor in how they learn, and had to literally adapt what we call in the education world differentiation, in not just the classroom, in all ways that I teach them, and that has rolled over into all areas of what I do. Some people call it, knowing the audience, understanding you're observing who you're speaking to, and making sure that you are connecting and making sure that the information and what you're saying is relevant and can be comprehended by the people that you're talking to. I'm not on here just to be talking. I'm not on here just for attention or clicks or likes. I believe that those who earnestly want to understand history in a very simple way, in a sweet and short, because we live in a world where folks ain't got time to be staying on no looking at something for no hours. Like, we don't have time for that. So I try to take bite size looks or views at history. So today we are going to continue with this USSR with Russia after the I don't want to say the occupying. Let's do that, of Germany and other parts of Europe by Hitler's Nazis. Um, so we're going to talk about, I left off with the Iron Curtain and how the Iron Curtain was built in there. So it goes on to say, Russia wouldn't, I'm sorry, let me go back. When World War II had ended, the armies of the winning Allied powers, that was the US, Britain, and the USSR, decided that they were going to move through Europe and help those countries that have been occupied by Hitler's regime, um, to help them to have a free and fair elections, and also to help liberate those nations. They promised to help them hold open elections and free form governments. After that, the Allied armies were supposed to leave. Now, the US, Great Britain, and Russia had decided that after they had helped them conquer back the land that was trying to be um, conquered from them, that they were going to leave. But one country did not, and that was Russia. It goes on to say they wouldn't go. They stayed in Poland, in Romania, in Bulgaria, in Czechoslovakia, Hungary, Yugoslavia, Latvia, Lithuania, Estonia, and East Germany. There were no free elections there. Elsewhere, in nations like Italy and France, the communist parties took over those. But most people didn't stay behind that Iron Curtain willingly. They were stripped of their right to choose. Okay, let me go on. We coming from history. Please don't come in my comments talking about, I'm trying to push an agenda. I'm reading from the history book. That's why I believe knowledge is power. Okay, so they at every Soviet border, armed guards kept people captive. The Iron Curtains would soon extend over several Asian countries. Some East European countries like Hungary and Yugoslavia attempted to rebel and become independent. The Hungarians were crushed and their leaders were killed. Now, for a short time, they did in 1956 try to rebel against the Soviet Union. This is what our then president had to say. Communism is based upon the will of a minority forcibly imposed upon the majority. It relies upon terror and oppression, a controlled press and radio, fixed elections, and the suppression of personal freedoms. I believe that it must be the policy of the United States to support free peoples who are resisting attempted subjugation by armed minorities or by outside pressure. This was Harry Truman when he was addressing Congress about what was happening overseas. Now, it Martin Luther King has a quote, which he is, of course, one of our most prominent leaders in my lifetime. Like I wasn't born when he was living and creating this civil rights movement or being a very pivotal part of it. But I was born during a time when those things that he was fighting for, I was able to take part in. So I say that he was a prominent figure in my own rights, equality, and freedoms because what he was fighting for, I was one of the beneficiaries of that. Okay. He said that injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. Anytime I keep saying this because I believe it is so true. Y'all, it's a beautiful day. I have a beautiful scenery. I'm sorry, it just keeps catching my eye as I'm talking. But anytime people, a group of people, decide what another group of people should and should not do, it is dangerous. I can live my life according to the values, the morals, and the things that I deem are good for me. I do not have the right to control or take over another human being. I and force my will on them. And that is what is so again, I won't use the word stupid, or I won't use the word idiotic. I will use the word foolish. I will use the word foolish because it is foolish to believe that a person who was not created by another person can alter that person's free will. That's foolish and very dangerous. Because now you have stepped into an almost godlike embodiment as to where I know what's best for you. So I'm going to control and manipulate and take away your right as a human being. We're living in this country of the United States as a United States citizen, as I am, and people that I know are. I'm going to control your freedoms. That is very dangerous. And there was a time when I'm looking at this history book, it says that the president of that time said that the United States would come to the aid of any nation. I'm sorry, I gotta take these glasses off because these are my faraway glasses and I'm trying to read up close. The President Truman decided the United States would come to the aid of any nation endangered by communism. We would not let Soviet Russia expand further. We, the United States, began by sending 400 million in emergency aid to Greece and Turkey. That program was called the Truman Doctrine. It was the beginning of the Cold War against Russia. That Cold War lasted more than 40 years. Now, we are in 2025. Um, I think I'll say this. Then the things that are happening here in the United States um, were happening then that are still happening now. But we were united in defending that across the water. In 2025, I am encouraged that we will still be united in defending that on our own shores. That's all I got to say today. Again, oh, there's my timer, y'all. I'm on time. Woohoo! Let's go. I'm doing this out of really just a pure heart, wanting people to really understand their rights, their liberties, what history is really all about. It's not as hard or complicated as people would have you believe. It's not. Um, Big things are just small things that accumulate a lot of small things. That's just where I am, and I hope that this is causes you to go and do your own research, get your history book. Again, I would recommend Joy Kim, All the People, fourth edition. Y'all, I promise I don't know this person. I did not know about this book, but I love the way that the synopsis of history and how they're shared. So that's it for us on Lesson 8, Part 2. Next time, we are talking about the Marshall Plan. We'll start talking about how Truman and what he did after that and what he created. All right. God bless you.